Now, this video is for all the single moms out there that understand or feel as though they have to let their baby daddy go, okay? This video is for y'all.
This is an advice video. This is like pulled from my personal experience, and I'm gonna tell you guys why I decided that I had to let my baby daddy go, okay? Now, if you watching this video, obviously, sis, you wanna know if you need to let your baby daddy go. And I'm gonna tell you guys why I decided that I had to let my baby daddy go, and maybe it'll help you guys let your baby daddy go, okay? It might help, it might help. Now, let me tell y'all a little backstory. Me and my daughter's father was together in high school. He took me to prom. Me and my child's father, I've talked about him on my channel before. You already know. Honestly, we used to really love each other, really love one another. You know, this was my person. Like, this was supposed to be the person I ended up forever being with. We was in high school together, everything. Like, we loved each other for a very long time. We was together for like 7 years, so we had to love each other for like a very long time to make it last 7 years.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
And I would say, after my child's father, I'm not going to speak about current situations. I'll say I have not found anybody in the past that can measure up to the way that I felt about him, or, you know, the love that I had for him, you know? And when I say I love this man, I really love this man. I'm a very selfish person by myself. I could really like a guy, hang out with a guy, and spend time with a guy, but I don't want to share my seafood with nobody. But I wanted to share my seafood with my daughter's father. And I love crab legs. Y'all need to know one thing, I love my crab legs. I like a guy, whatever, hang out with a guy, but I don't want a guy in my space all the time. But with Camilla's dad, I wanted him in my space all the time. And with Camilla's dad, it felt like it was family. Like, if you have a baby dad, you know how that is. When y'all been together young, or y'all been together for a long time, y'all become family. Y'all start to really feel like, yo, this is my family. This is the person that I'm supposed to live and survive and do things with, and all of these things, you know? You start to really like love, you know, the idea of spending forever with this person, especially when y'all have a kid together, you know? After y'all have a kid together, you start really thinking about this person like, yo, this is my life partner, like, because you love your kids so much, right?
You think Harriet Tubman was walking around with a fucking nice shiny fucking dress on with a fucking crown on her head when she was taking slaves to freedom?
Now, Camilla's dad and I was equally not perfect, right? Not perfect. We both made a lot of mistakes, right? This is when I knew that I had to let my baby dad go, right? I let him go for him. Yep, you heard me right. I let my child's father go for him.
Oh, give me some bonding time. Do it again.
My child's father, I would say, he's not a bad person. He just wasn't right for me, right? I'll say that. And I always wanted him to want so much more, you know, out of life, because I just believed in him so much and I loved him so much. So I wanted him to have these big goals and accomplishments and things that I wanted for him because I wanted it for myself. And the thing about it is, a lot of things I wanted for him, he didn't want for himself, you know? And because I felt stagnant, I felt like I wasn't growing, I began to resent him and dislike him and not, you know, accept him for who he was. He was who he was. I always wanted him to be much more, like, reach out for greatness and want better things, and just, but he was content with who he is and what he was and what he was doing in life, and, you know, his goals and his things that he wanted for himself. He was content with that, and I should have been content with that. However, I wanted more from him, right?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And here's the thing. The problem is, you have to allow people to have their own goals, their own wants, their own dreams, their own accomplishment, things that they want for themselves. You can't want something for somebody else if they don't want it for themselves. If that makes sense? You need to be with somebody that you're appreciated, not tolerated. I'm gonna say it again. You need to be with somebody that you are appreciated and not tolerated. I tolerated him.
What?
Child. Anyway, so
I always wanted him to be a different version of himself. And that's not who he was. When we were younger, it was cool because we just liked each other, and I liked him, he liked me. We loved each other, and it built and just got together, whatever. But as we got older and we became adults, I started wanting different things. I started wanting somebody who was more career focused, or somebody who had goals and things that they wanted for themselves, and our love couldn't maintain, or our love couldn't hold us or keep us together. It just was not enough. Love was not enough.
Huh? You been sipping tea with tea, sharing juice and shit? Sharing a blunt, my nigga?
I don't know what you talking about.
You been sharing a blunt with tea, my nigga?
I don't know what you talking about.
You ain't been sharing a blunt with tea? You don't know that?
And we loved each other very much, but we started doing things to hurt one another, be it being with other people.
Asking about kids like you know my kids.
I do know your kid.
How do you know my kids?
I know your kid because I know your baby daddy. I know your baby daddy because I sit on his like almost every other night.
And then she went in for the kill.
Be it like lying to each other, cheating on each other, hurting each other, calling each other mean names, and different things, and especially with the kid, with our daughter, I just wanted him to be a different version or a different kind of father, seeing how my father was and how I grew up with my father. I had different expectations for him, and that's just not the father that he wanted to be, the father that he could be, and he had to be who he was going to be.
So you got that? Dada.
It is not my job, or it's not for me to decide who this man ended up being. That's not for me. And I kept on trying to make him into the man or the men that I was used to seeing, the successful men that I was used to seeing, my definition of success, my definition of happiness. And that's why I had to let him go. I had to let him go because I felt like I was going to hurt him. I was going to crush this man. Even till this day, it's like, I couldn't be with him because I know that he was never what I wanted. I wanted him. I loved him. Don't get me wrong. But I was in love with the potential versus who he was. And if you are in that type of situation where you are in love with somebody for who they could be, you might as well leave that person alone. Because it'll never work. You can't want somebody to be a certain version of themselves that they are showing you that that's not who they're interested in being. Because they'll never be that person. The person that you see in your head, even if you show them the picture, draw it for them, leave them that way. They'll never be that person. They will never. They don't want that for themselves. So you'll hurt yourself, break yourself, crush yourself, especially when a child's involved. And here's something else we need to stop doing as women. We need to stop doing as women. Thinking that we need to stay together for the baby. Because it'll never work. It will never work. You can't be with somebody just because of a child.
I want my money.
What are you talking about?
Byron.
Stop. Listen, we ain't together, okay?
It'll never work. You have to be with somebody because you love them and they love you. I think that we loved each other, but I don't think we had long-lasting potential. Obviously we didn't because we're not together now, right? But we loved each other specifically towards the end because we loved our baby. That love didn't extend to each other, It just did not. We didn't love each other because I think I would have stayed with him for my child. I think a lot of the time, towards the end especially, I kept on messing with him, kept on trying to be with him because of the child, not because of him.
How you gonna disrespect me by having one of your chicks holding my baby?
Listen, we ain't together, okay?
You know what? Where my money at, Byron?
And he didn't deserve that. He deserved somebody that was genuinely in love with him. Somebody that genuinely wanted to be with him for him. Somebody that genuinely appreciated him, cared for him, wanted him and all of him, The good and the bad, the boyish, somebody that was willing to go through the trenches with him. And it just wasn't me. It wasn't me. I would have went through it if it turned out the way I wanted it to be. If he was going to be the man that I wanted him to be, then yeah, I would have, stuck by him and all of that. But I think I should have been with him for who he was. And even when me and him were dating, when we was dating, I didn't like the fact that he smoked. I wanted him to quit. He was willing to do any and everything, change who he was just to be with me. And that's why it shouldn't have worked. Because you shouldn't have to change who you truly are for anybody. The person that you're going to be with is going to accept you for who you are, flaws and all. You should not be with somebody who puts so much pressure on you being somebody else or becoming somebody else. I get the whole, oh, I want this person to grow and be better and da-da-da-da-da, and all of this is good. Your inner self, they should like you. And I think I never liked that man for who he was. Just who he was. And he was being tolerated and not appreciated. He needed to be with somebody that really loved him. Everything that he came with, loved him. People say, well, he wasn't pushing himself. He wasn't being this. He wasn't, you know, wanting nothing out of life. He wasn't. And if that is the case, he should be with a woman that likes that about him or appreciates or accepts him, accepts that and wants to be with him still. Not somebody who's trying to change that around. And I understand help him grow and push him to be all of that. But if that's not who he wants for himself, let him go. Let him forge his own path. I started feeling so much pressure, especially after I got pregnant. I started feeling like I had to be with this person because I got pregnant by him. That's not the truth, baby. That's not the truth. I understand you don't want to end the relationship or you don't want to leave somebody alone because they're your baby father and y'all got kids together. But sometimes you got to leave a man alone. Alone, especially if he's your baby daddy, because you're gonna mess up a child, okay? You're gonna mess up a child. A lot of us wasn't raised in broken homes. You want your child to have a mom and a dad because you had a mom and a dad and you feel like that's what you want for your child. That's amazing. Wonderful, mama. Absolutely wonderful. However, hold on. If this ain't working, forcing it to be a mother and a father ain't gonna make it work, boo. It ain't. And just because your baby daddy ain't the one don't mean you'll never find the one. It don't matter how many kids you have. People try to talk all this mess about, if you got a kid, ain't nobody want a single mother. You got that kid, lies. You know how many people would want to date a woman with a child and, you know, the things that you are driven, you are strong, you know, multitasker. There's a bunch of traits that single mothers have that other women don't have. So when they sit up here and talk about, no, nobody want to date, that's a lie from the fiery pits of hell. Men don't care. A real man gonna love you and that damn baby, okay? So don't feel stuck, because that's another thing. After you have a kid, you feel stuck. You feel stuck. You feel like, man, this is all it's gonna be. This is, you know, my person. I have to make it work. You don't have to do shit. Excuse my language. You ain't gotta do squat, diddly, nothing. Okay? If it ain't gonna work, baby, it ain't gonna work.
Because I cannot fucking live like this. Like me,
and then loving him harder ain't gonna make it work. Nothing. You gotta, if this person's not your person, and most of the time, here's the crazy part. You know it. You try to force it. You try to let love tell you that y'all need to be together, but when it's not gonna work, you know it. In your heart, you know it. And what's crazy is we be knowing it and we be fighting it. We be trying to act like, oh, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. It don't matter how hard you want it to work, baby. If it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna work. I had to let my child's father go because I feel like he deserved to find his person. I wasn't it, and I wasn't gonna stall that man time or nothing. If you in this situation, don't stall that man time or have him stall your time where y'all both could be finding the people that's for y'all, but y'all stuck trying to force this shit to work. It ain't gonna work. Let them find a path. You find your path. You know, and who's to say that it won't work eventually, right? Just because it's not working right now don't mean it'll never work. Some people break up, go by their path and grow and become better people and then come back and find each other and it's a whole different other situation. So if you know it's BS now, maybe you gotta let it go for a while and it'll come back to you. You let it go, what's that? If you love something, let it go. If it's meant to be, it'll come back to you and it'll be yours forever to stay. That's what this is.
Yes, I did that.
If it ain't working, let it go. And let's see what God, let go and let God. See what God does. But I had to let my baby daddy go. But he deserved somebody who could love him the right way. I wasn't loving him right. I wasn't. I loved him, but I wasn't loving him right. And all of him. All that he came with. The pros, the cons, the in between. He deserved somebody to accept the man that he was. Not the man that he was going to be. The man that he was now, pronto, at this moment, this day. And I had to let him go because he deserved somebody that loved that man. I did not love that man. I was in love with him, but the man that he was, I did not like that man. I did not love that man. I wasn't, accepting that man at all. All the things that he did as far as Camilla and all that extra stuff, that's different. That's a different topic. But we talking about just relationship shit, right? me and you together. You my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend, together. If it ain't working, let it go. Don't kill your time, waste your time. Life is short. It feel long while we experiencing it, but life is short. You lose so much time loving the wrong person when you could just find the right person and really experience, live your best life. Okay, so seriously, watching this video, it's time to let it go, okay? You need to let it go because God has better for you. Not even, okay, you don't believe in God, all right. The universe has better for you, okay? You don't believe in the universe? Good things come to those who wait. If this ain't yours, it could be good, but it just could not be your good or good for you. Let it go. If you watching this, you really want to know if it's time to let it go. And I'm telling you, it's time to let it go. You even got to think about if it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. And just because you let this go don't mean nothing better's going to come. It might be just you and God for a season. You going to be by yourself for a season. You're going to be figuring you out. And it's okay to love on you, babe. Love yourself. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with loving you. But don't force nothing, baby. Please, don't force nothing. It ain't meant for you. You got to let it go. I know it's hard, but you got to. You got to, okay? Okay, so if you're watching this video, hopefully I helped you out. Hopefully I helped you I talked about my experience and everything and what made me feel like I had to let it go. It's just too much. When you feel like you gotta force something, you gotta let it go. Because nothing should be forced. Everything should just feel right. You shouldn't have to force somebody to get their shit together. If they not getting it together, you just gotta let them get it together, you know, by themselves or with somebody else. But don't be in a situation you know, because most of the time we know. Don't be in a situation you know ain't right for you. I love you guys. Bye-bye.